Now, would it surprise you to know that American savers have steadily improved their retirement readiness over the last 15 years? That's according to a Fidelity Investments retirement savings assessment. Even with the improvement, though, many households are still falling behind on being ready for retirement. Let's fix that, shall we? Here to show us the advantages of saving for retirement and share some tips on preparing for retirement is Vice President of Retirement and College Leadership at Fidelity Investments. It's Melissa Rodolfi. It's great having you, Melissa. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's talk about this study. How prepared is the average saver for retirement?
Well, the study shows that Americans' preparedness is solidly in the green at a score of 83. And what that means is American savers are on track to cover 83% of the income Fidelity estimates they'll need in retirement. And that's quite encouraging. However, there's still room to grow, given over 25% are in what we'd call the red zone. And that means they may have to make significant lifestyle choices in retirement if they don't take action to improve their retirement score.
No question. And the data actually showed something really interesting. Millennials' retirement preparedness is actually outpacing Generation X's. I would find myself in the millennial category. I find myself watching YouTube videos about this stuff and on subreddits learning about financial independence and all that stuff. What's the reason for the millennials being more about it than the Gen Xers?
Well, it's quite interesting. The millennials seem to be focused on their financial independence, and we see that in their savings rate. It's actually increased to just shy of 10%, and that's up 2 percentage points from the last time we did this study 2 years ago. And millennials have time on their side, right? They benefit from that. They get a couple decades away from retirement, so their money can really grow. And thinking about the Gen Xers, they are just like the millennials from a savings rate perspective. The problem is their expenses are increasing as well. So we see that eating into their savings. But Gen Xers are just starting to enter their peak earning years, so they can turn that extra earnings into savings and really boost their savings.
How do you figure out what you actually need for retirement?
It's a tough question. We get that a lot. Fidelity does have a rule of thumb that suggests you should try to aim to save 10 times your income by the time you reach age 67. But let's face it, everybody's retirement vision is different. The important thing, as with any journey, is to know where you stand. And Fidelity's retirement score can help you. And I think the good news here is no matter what your age or income level, there are things that you can do to improve your score.
All right, help us. How can we improve our chances? We need enough money when we retire. Tips.
There are 3 accelerators to improve your retirement readiness. The first one is on saving more. Fidelity suggests saving to 15% of your salary. So that might seem like a lot, especially if you're juggling multiple priorities, but take it in pieces. Chunk it out to save at least to your company match if you have access to a 401k, and then increase that 1% until you reach that 15% target. The second thing is to review your asset mix. So now that you've done a good job of savings, you want to make sure your money's working for you. So do you have the right mix of stocks, bonds, and cash for your risk tolerance and your time frame? And then lastly, you really need to think about when you want to retire. So look to keep your savings in there as long as possible and don't dip into it, but it also gives you the opportunity to maximize your Social Security benefit as well. Compound
interest is a thing, kids. Oh, if I could tell every 20-year-old, just put the money in while you can. How do we get our own retirement score?
You can get your retirement score at fidelity.com/score.
Awesome. It's great having you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, if you're a millennial, a Gen Xer, maybe a little older, you're thinking about retirement, you want to get your ducks in a row, fidelity.com/score. Great place to go. Fidelity Investments, proud sponsor of the Morning Blend.